Good day, everyone. This presentation is for educational purposes only. Our group has given permission to our instructor, Mr. Roldan Ardenez, to use this as educational material. Learning objectives: explore Manfred Stedger's ideology of globalization, understand Michael Frieden's perspective on globalization, examine Arjun Appadurai's contributions to the concept of globalization, and analyze the different scapes of globalization, including technoscapes, mediascapes, financescapes, and others.
Our topic is the introduction of the ideology of globalization by Manfred Stedger. So who is Manfred Stedger? Manfred B. Stedger is an American academic and author. He is a professor of sociology at the University of Hawaii at Manoa. Manfred's idea of ideology of globalization is, according to him, it is when the world becomes more connected in different ways. Imagine people from all over the world talking to each other more, trading goods and sharing ideas. This makes countries and people more linked together. Manfred Stedger explains that globalization happens in a few major areas. First is economics. Countries trade and resources. This means that products, services, and money move more freely between different countries. Second is politics. Countries work together to solve big problems, much like how a team works together to win a game. This can involve countries collaborating on issues like climate change, security, or international laws. Third is culture. People from different places share their music, movies, and food. Just like having a big party with treats from around the world, this leads to a mix of different cultural influences in many aspects of life, such as fashion, entertainment, and cuisine. But Stedger also says that while this can be good, it can also cause problems, like sometimes people don't get along or some people get left out. So globalization makes the world more connected, but it's not always easy or fair for everyone. According to Manfred Stedger, there are three main types of globalization. Manfred Stedger's ideology of globalization refers to the way in which different belief systems. He identifies several key ideologies of globalization. First is market globalist. This ideology promotes the idea that globalization is primarily about economic integration through free markets, trade, and capitalism. It argues that globalization leads to greater prosperity and opportunities for all by spreading wealth, technology, and democracy. Second is justice globalism. In contrast, justice globalism advocates for a fairer and more just approach to globalization. It emphasizes the need for global cooperation to address issues like poverty, inequality, and environmental degradation. Justice globalists call for policies that ensure globalization benefits for everyone, not just the wealthy and powerful. Religious globalism. This ideology is driven by religious beliefs and values. Religious globalists often view globalization as a threat to their traditions and moral frameworks. This seek to resist the secular and consumerist aspect and promoting instead a world order based on religious principles.
Michael Frieden is known for his work on political theories, especially in the field of political ideologies. There are also 5 sentiments that connects to Michael Frieden's sentiments. Number 1 is emotional core. Number 2, ideological motivation. Number 3, formative role. Number 4, interpersonal influence. And lastly, adaptation and change. This refers to the emotional and affective components that underpin a political ideologies. In his own point of view, ideologies are not just any sets of ideas or any principles, but are also deeply connected to the emotions or values that people hold. These sentiments help to to shape and reinforce ideological beliefs and contribute to the way any individual engage with political ideas and movements. Friedman's work emphasizes that to fully understand ideologies, one must consider not only their conceptual structures but also their underlying sentiments that gives them life or urgency. This approach helps explain why ideologies are powerful forces in political life and why they resonate so deeply with any individuals.
According to Michael Frieden's globalization exists in people's conscience, since it consists of set coherent and complementary ideas and beliefs about the global order. Globalization is believed to be a political belief system that benefits certain class. Michael Frieden's skeptical assessment that it is far too early to pronounce on globalism's status as an ideology. This article seeks to establish that globalism not only represents a set of political ideas and beliefs coherent enough to warrant the status of a new ideology, but also constitutes the dominant ideology of our time against which all of its challenges must define themselves. 1. Deterritorialization, the weakening of ties between identity and specific geographic locations. 2. Complex interdependence, a sense of shared fate due to global networks, fostering both solidarity and vulnerability. 3. Cultural homogenization versus diversity, tension between a globalized culture and the preservation of local identities. 4. Global citizenship, the rise of a global identity, creating a sense of responsibility for global issues and potential alienation from national identities.
Hi everyone, so today let's talk about what are the contributions of Arjun Appadurai in globalization. Arjun Appadurai is a leading social theorist, has greatly influenced the understanding of globalization. And his book is Modernity at Large, highlights globalization's complexity and multidimensionality. Arjun Appadurai's contribution to the study of globalizations, as highlighted in the introduction to the Manfred Stedger's work, and in it includes the number one of his contribution is concept of escapes frameworks. Appadurai introduced that the concept of escapes describes the various dimensions of global culture flows. This includes that 1 is ethnoscapes, 2 is mediascapes, 3 is technoscapes, 4 is finascapes, and lastly is ideoscapes. The number 2 of his contribution is Modernity at Large. In his seminal book, Modernity at Large, Cultural Dimensions of Globalization, Appadurai explores how globalization affects the culture and identity. Also, he argues that the globalization is not a uniform or is a linear process, but is characterized by complex and often disjointed flows of culture, technology, finance, and people. And the number 3 of his contribution is cultural globalization and diversity. Apadari's challenges the notion that globalization leads to cultural homogenization. Instead, he argues that the globalization creates new forms of cultural diversity and hybrid identities by interacting with local contexts in unique ways. And the rest of the contribution of Arjun Apadrai will be discussed by C.G. Arizobal.
Hello everyone, this is a continuation about the topic Aljurs Apadrai's contribution to the globalization. Apadrais explored the concept of deteriorations, which refers to the loosening or even removal of the traditions connections between culture and geography. In our increasingly globalized world, cultural practices, identities, and ideas are no longer confined to specific physical locations. This shifts enables cultural elements to move freely across the borders and take on a new meaning in different contexts. As globalization advances, the territorialization transforms how we think about culture. It creates opportunities for the blending of cultural forms in the emergence of new identities. As people adapt and reinterpret cultural elements from around the globe. This process not only enriches our cultural landscapes, but also challenges us to reconsider the boundaries and intersections of culture and geography. In essence, the territorialization allows for a more fluid and interconnected world, where cultural exchange no longer is restricted by physical distance, paving the way of dynamic and innovative cultural expressions. For example, separation of culture from place. Traditionally, cultural practices were closely linked to a specific location. The territorialization challenges this by allowing cultural elements to spread globally, often independent of their original geographical context. Second is the hybridizations. As cultural elements are detached from their original context, they often mix with other cultures, leading to new hybrid forms, and this process can result in innovative cultural expressions and identities. One of the most relatable examples of the territorializations can be seen in food and cuisines. Consider sushi, which originated in Japan but has become popular worldwide. In many countries, sushi has been adapted to the local tastes, resulting in variations like the California roll, which is incorporated avocado and crab meat, which is the ingredients is not typically from Japan. And these adaptations illustrates how a cultural practices, which is Japan sushi, becomes the territorialized, spreading globally and evolving in a new context. The territorializations can lead to both positive and negative outcomes. On the positive side, it allows for cultural diversity, innovation, and the blending of ideas. It enables people to access a wide range of cultural expressions and develop complex, multi-layered identities. On the negative side, deterritorialization can sometimes lead to cultural homogenization, where local cultures risk being overshadowed by dominant global influences. It can also create challenges for individuals trying to maintain a sense of cultural belonging in a rapidly changing world. Overall, deterritorialization is a crucial concept of understanding how globalizations impact cultural dynamics, enabling the movement of the transformation of cultural practices across the globe.
So in my topic of the escape of globalization media, for me, the escape of globalization media is an ongoing challenge, but it is not insurmountable by developing media literacy. So, supporting local media and actively preserving cultural identities, individuals, and societies can navigate the complexities of a globalized media landscape while maintaining their own unique values and traditions. The escape of globalization. So the escape of globalization media refers to the challenge of avoiding the pervasive influence of globalized media, particularly in a world where information and cultural content are readily accessible. Through various platforms, this essay will explore the complexities of this phenomenon, examining its impact on individuals, societies, and cultures. So based on my information, I only got one. The rise of globalized media. The globalization of media has been driven by technological achievements, particularly the internet and mobile devices. This has created a global village where information and cultural content can be shared instantaneously across borders. While this has brought numerous benefits, such as access to device, perspective, and increased connectivity, it has also raised concerns about the homogenization of cultures and the erosion of local identities.
Refer to the global movement of money and financial assist. This concept highlights how capital flows across, driven by factors like international trading, investment banking, and financial markets. Financial scape include the activities of global stock exchanges, foreign direct investment, currency trading, and the financial strategies of multinational corporations. This flow of capital can affect economies worldwide, leading to shift in wealth, economic development, and financial stability. Financial scape show how interconnected and dynamic the global financial system has become, with money moving quickly across borders, sometimes with significant impact on local and global. In the context of the five scapes of globalizations as introduced by anthropologist Arjun Appaduria, finance scape refer to the global flow of capital. This includes the movement of money across borders through various channels such as investments, currency exchanges, and global markets. It encompasses everything from the finance operation of multinational corporation to the movement of global stock markets and the activities of international banks. Finanscape illustrate how financial transactions and capital can move rapidly around the world, influencing economies and financially stability in different regions. This flow is often complex and can be influenced by factors such as economic policies, technological advancement, and market speculations.